My name's Mab.
My name's Tom.
Welcome to Mab and Tom.
Also, fun fact, neither of us are named Mab or Tom in real life.
Yeah.
But apparently that's what we are for this show.
Yeah. I realised I've had issues with my audio, especially on vlogs. And I realised it's because I wasn't using Audacity to do it. I was just using the webcam to record the audio. But the webcam was using the microphone.
Oh.
And for some reason, it would just create noise in the audio channel. And then when I use Audacity, it's perfect.
Yeah, I mean.
So I went, well, I'll just record both then, and then sync them, and then it'll be fine.
When it comes to audio, I'm pretty stupid. So I don't know. I just stick with what works, and then I don't pretend to know it. It's kind of funny actually at my work, which I'm not going to go too much into detail, but let's just say I do editing for work as well. Mm-hmm. One of the things that we're supposed to do is put on this audio filter, and I put it on everything because it's an audio filter. And I talk to the other editors, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I don't bother." I'm like, "What the fuck, guys? Come on, your audio sounds so bad."
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to go into too much detail about where I work, but it's just kind of funny as an editor. Like, as an editor who knows nothing about audio, I'm like one of the few guys who's actually doing the audio properly. Because most of them just leave it how it is. It's like, what the... Guys, this is professional.
Yeah.
And like sometimes like I'll be given their edits to finish. And they're like, oh, can you just look over this? I'm like, sure. And then I'm just quietly putting on the audio filters on everything.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You don't just like immediately change everything they've done.
I try not to. Sometimes, I mean, listen, sometimes you'll see like a really egregious thing and you're like, what the fuck? How did you do this? But for the most part, it's just like, I've just got to put on the audio filters and yeah. Because sometimes we need like lots of people to kind of look over it and make sure it goes out well. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm just talking about my work now.
It's called Mab and Tom. It's not. It's called Mab.
It's my real job, not my YouTube job. My
Mab and friend.
Mab and guy. Mab and listener.
Yes.
Tom.
Yeah.
I don't feel like a Tom. I don't think I'm a Tom.
Oh, don't people think you're actually called Tom?
I think some people might think so. Probably in part because of this series.
Yeah. No one watches this series.
Yeah, it's true. But I know it comes up on, like, I've written like Ihasnotomato and sometimes it comes up in the recommendations. It's like, yeah.
That's cool.
I don't know if it still does because YouTube's weird and fucked up, but
I thought like my Friday Night Fun stuff with you might.
That also comes up, yeah.
Yeah.
It's because you use my name in like the description or something.
It's in the title. Yeah.
Well, obviously, but
yeah.
So sometimes, I think actually like the full. Let's look it up now. We got YouTube literally right in front of us. It might be different now, but I can tell you, not Ihasnotomato. Soundsmith for some reason from 9 hours ago.
Okay.
See, this is what I mean. People are so fucking like people also watch. Like, that's not what I'm asking.
Yeah.
I'm asking for me.
People also watched things that are by you.
And there's for you. There's stuff that I've previously watched. I mean, YouTube's still fucked up and dumb now.
You know what is really annoying now? I can't find my way to Same Industries just from the homepage. I have to go into my subscriptions manually and find it. And I'm like, and so now I've just made a bookmark link to Same Industries because I know from Same Industries I can go to all of our channels.
It's because it's such a small channel. It's beginning to be like hidden because people are like, no one's looking for them. And it's like, it's annoying like that.
No, they removed the channels tab on everyone's channels. That's not actually
you can't...
Unless you've got it as a section on your channel, it's not there at all.
Do I have it?
So, like, it used to be right next to community and about if you had your about, mate.
What the hell?
Yeah. So,
yeah, that's annoying.
So, if you have it as a section, like, I think on...
Like one of these sections?
Oh, yeah, down the bottom there.
My channels, okay.
So, it's just like... And that's, like, stuff we manually made, like, 10 years ago. Like, I think on Supercast Movini it's called My Tube Pals, which is a shocking name, but it would just have everything that every channel that is like people I know and channels I'm part of.
YouTube hates the little guy, man. They are against him.
I started watching this channel I subscribed to, this girl called Kate.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it? She had a really bad previous name. I can't remember what it was.
Well, don't insult the poor.
No. As in, like, she knew it was kind of like might have been the reason why she wasn't getting lots of views or something.
Oh, was it something like
Um,
butt was it from butt fuck sluts go nuts?
but so let's go nuts.
Yeah, something like
The
that.
movie.
It was a Game Grumps bit
Yeah.
from years ago. Don't
I
like
love that
quoting
one.
Game Grumps in this day and age. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But,
that's why I always worry about TFG.
Yeah.
Because I think he
Yeah.
uses the formal goat for the most part now. I think he's pretty much tried to rebrand himself to the formal goat, but TFG used to mean something different.
Yeah.
I think since he started taking YouTube more seriously, he's like, I shouldn't be named this fucking guy anymore.
Yeah. But this girl has started a new vlog channel, and she's been doing YouTube for like 11 years or something, and she got this idea that her channel's been blacklisted or something, and I'm like, you get like 10,000 views per video. Why are you complaining?
I hear that from a lot of YouTubers.
They're like, oh, they don't like old channels. And I'm like, that's not true. My channel's been around for like 13 years.
Well,
I only recently started doing
that's what I
well.
mean. Your channel is the best example of it because just seen quite a bit of success this year. I mean, it's nothing. It's not like millions of views, but like
It's more than it's ever
probably
gotten.
you probably like increased your views by like 100%.
Yeah. Well, and truly, like, I got like 30,000 views last year, and I'm pretty sure that's the most that I ever got
And
in the entire career up until that point.
is Supercars Mabini the first channel, the original one?
It's my original channel. Yeah, he's doing Mr. and Beanie.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like that's the oldest one.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's still it's popping off.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. We both spent some time last year working on our original channels.
Yeah. It's interesting now because like I know that people watch my videos now, so I have to be very conscious of what I say and what I do. I didn't used to give a crap because I knew no one watched.
You know, it's so funny that you say that. I'm going the opposite way.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no one watches my shit. I'm gonna say whatever the hell I want.
I kind of do that with it's weird now because Supercast Mabini has been growing so rapidly that like something I did a week or two ago got no attention, but if I did it again, it might get more.
What do you mean you gotta like
As in,
make
like-
videos?
As in, like, I'm getting more attention now than I was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
So, was it?
That's how rapidly it's growing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Mm.
That it used to. I think I got like one like on like I did some photoshopping of cars to be like, oh, this is what the cars might look like, and.
I saw that one.
I didn't get
That
any.
was on the community post.
Yeah, it was a community post, and after I did that, the main problem was the pictures just did not want to pop up properly, and I had to mess around with them and cropping them and stuff. And I'm like, this is just rubbish. I don't want to do that again because if you want to post a picture, it has to be the exact size that YouTube allows you to put the full thing in.
You can click on it to
You can
see
do
the full
that,
thing.
but
It's just annoying. I wish it showed the whole thing.
yeah. But I usually watch YouTube on my phone, so I don't usually. I don't think you can do that on mobile. You can't just like click on it and blow it up. So
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I usually watch YouTube on my Switch, where you can't even see community posts, as far as I'm aware. So, but then I mainly watch it on. Actually, no, I do look at it a lot on my phone because I like to read the community posts on there.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Community posts, they've kind of become the new Twitter for me in particular. Sorry about the dog scratching on the door, by the way. They should stop eventually, hopefully. I could put the gate in the way to make them be quieter, but I don't know.
I just have lots of screenshots on my phone from memes on community posts.
I got quite a few of those, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I find. If I go to my my homepage, it's all the community posts are all just like memes. And I'm like, honestly, it's great. So
Yeah, I love it.
Meme. They all are.
They're all memes.
All of those are memes.
Yeah.
And what happens is I like the ones I find funny, so like those meme accounts, I guess, keep recycling towards me because it's just stupid shit.
Yeah. but I think it's like 5 out of the last 6 videos that I've done have all got over 1,000 views. And then, is it 3 out of the last 4 have got over 2,000.
Wow.
And one of them has got over 3,000 views.
One of them now your most popular video of all time? Or is that
Yeah,
still like your editing video or something?
Yeah, the editing video's got like 11,000 views.
11,000.
Yeah. And well, that video is like at the time and for many years was the one video that was like the only video I had any angry comments in, but now I have a couple more videos that are like that.
You're learning to be a content creator online.
Very much.
You'll get used to it.
But I was thinking about it because for the last few days I've been like, I don't really want to log into that account now because I'll get comments in it, and they might be hateful comments or they might be mean, and they weren't. It's like, it's not even a large portion of the comments that are like that.
No, it's not.
It's like a minority. And those people usually don't even check what anyone else has to say, and like I've already had the conversation that they want to have, but they're missing out because they're being passive aggressive.
Well, exactly. It's kind of a whole topic, actually. I have a lot of thoughts on it, which is that of being a content creator online and how you tackle comments.
Yeah.
Because, it is true, and I've experienced it, and I'm sure you've experienced it.
Yeah.
One, you can have, say you have 100 comments, 99 can be great.
Yep.
But one can be really bad, and that one can ruin your whole fucking day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it does.
And
Every time I get one, I'm like, I complain about it at home, I complain about it at work.
Yeah. And sometimes it doesn't even have to be crazy mean. It can just be like something that hits you in a point that like you're like, that's my weak point. How could you do this to me?
I get comments talking about my voice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't actually mind those ones because I know what I sound like, and I don't think I put enough effort in like they want me to, because I'm not being the YouTuber they want me to be.
Yeah.
It's you freaking do it.
I love those comments. The comments that like, can you just change aspects about yourself to suit my needs? I've had people talk about my voice. One that got me is one of those things where it's like, I don't fully get them to understand.
Yeah.
I want them to expect them to understand, I suppose, because there are lots of people who are ignorant on the topics.
Yeah.
But like one person suggested that like he with my little animated bouncing character in the corner, little tomato, he was like, "You think you could animate a mouth onto it? I think it would look better." And it's like, I don't think you even have the remotest idea of what it takes to animate a fully lip synced mouth for a character design that's already fully completed and refined, just to suit the needs of one individual person.
That might be like 4 times the amount of work or something.
A lot more than 4 times, but yeah.
Yeah, just like, because like he's bobbing on the spot at a certain pace, and if you put a mouth on him, that mouth is going to be in a different position as the thing moves.
There's that, but there's also, to lip sync, to make proper lip sync, you have to make a ton of different mouths and things. Not to mention, I'd have to redesign the character itself, which is already a huge deal. And all of this is just like from the whim of one comment, just one guy is like, "Hey, you should add a mouth." From his perspective, it's like a small thing because clearly they don't know anything about animation. But anyway, so I'm going off topic. But I was going to say I have a lot of thoughts about it. Where I understand, so the thing about YouTube or online content and comments is true. One bad comment can ruin your whole day, and they can really fucking suck. It's kind of hard to relate to it unless it's happened to you, because it's really easy to be like, I don't understand these YouTubers, it's just a comment. But then when it happens to you, like, oh, I get it. But the issue is, what happens is a lot of bigger YouTubers, eventually they just go, well, I'm just not going to read the comments then.
Yeah.
And I think that is a mistake.
Yeah.
Because this is my hot take, my kind of brutal hot take about online content, but I think it's kind of part of the job.
Yeah.
I think
like, if you want to put yourself out there, be prepared to receive criticism, and people aren't always going to agree with you or like what you do.
Yeah. You gotta, like, it's just like, it's kind of what you sign up for. It's a really mean way of saying it, but it's kind of true. Because it's like, that's just part of it. And I think that you gotta kind of read the comments, because that's how you improve, because within all the bullshit, there is occasionally like legitimate criticism and improvements and stuff like that you can make. I've improved a lot of little things throughout my YouTube career from comments people left, like just editing things. Like people like, hey, have you ever tried doing this? And I'm like, holy fuck, I never knew about that, And not to mention, like, obviously there's them pointing out errors and actual issues and problems. It's the Let's Players, I don't know, phenomenon, or conundrum, I don't know, one of those two. God damn, those dogs are going to drive me crazy. It's Let's Play is hypothetical, right? It's this idea of like the two branching paths, okay?
Yeah.
So let's say you're a Let's Player, okay? I know it's hard to think about, hard to believe.
I can't imagine what
Can't
it'd be
imagine. All right. And you get a ton of recommendations to play a game. Name a cult classic game, like a really popular game.
Like Assassin's Creed or something.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
People are like, please play Assassin's Creed. It's one of the greatest games of all time. It's my favorite. All these comments like, it's my favorite game. Please, I want to see you play it. You're like, all right, sure. And you do the first episode or maybe a couple of them, and you're playing it and you're enjoying it. You're having fun. You're doing your usual stick. People in the comments are enjoying it. But you're so busy entertaining and making commentary and stuff that, oops, you accidentally skipped past a tutorial.
Yeah.
Right? And because you skipped past that tutorial, suddenly things are getting a lot harder for you. And you're kind of like, oh, what the fuck? This is kind of hard. What's going on? So naturally, the comments like, oh, just so you know, you skipped that tutorial. That's okay. This is what you do, right?
Yeah.
If you you're gonna want to know this part because it's really important to enjoying the game. This is where the branch takes place.
Yeah.
The person who reads the comments will be like, oh, there's some people being mean about it, but they're still getting this thing through, right? And they go, okay, well, that's fine. Like, they learn, maybe they have a day of kind of being upset that someone said some really terrible things, but they learn it and they get, like, they go, oh, actually, I get what's going on in the game now. I enjoy the game. The game series continues. It ends up being the greatest series of all time because, they stuck with it and they understood the game and they worked with the comments to enjoy it to its fullest potential. Path B is where they don't read the comments.
Yeah.
And then you go episode after episode of them not learning what they're doing wrong.
Yeah.
And they're getting more and more frustrated, right? But then the audience is also getting really, really frustrated. They're like, this guy's not learning. He's not reading the comments. I'm going to stop watching the series. So then the series starts going down in views. And then the YouTube is like, well, people don't want to see this. And so they quit the series. And so what would have been, a great series of all these people's favorite game that's just dropped early on a really sour note because the YouTuber refused to read the comments and learn what they were doing wrong.
Yeah.
And that is why I think, and that's just a microcosm, a single example why I think it's important as a YouTuber, as a content creator. You gotta read the comments, even if it stings. You don't have to read them all, but just get an idea of what people are saying about your videos. Because how can you improve? How can you expect to entertain? Like I said, like in scenario A, that series went on to be one of the most popular series. It was really lucrative for their channel. They learned a lot. They ended up loving Assassin's Creed. It became their favorite franchise. But in scenario B, it just didn't happen at all. Yeah. And a lot of opportunities were missed out on because they just refused to read the comments.
Mm.
And that is why I read the comments.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've had that spiel up in my head for a few years there. I didn't want to let it out.
I think you've said it a few times as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Borderlands 3? Yeah, because I've been watching them recently because we talked about mean comments in that series.
Well, there you go.
and you talked about that particular
scenario.
Yeah.
Hypothetical.
Yeah.
It's not even a hypothetical. I think we can all think of a YouTuber or Let's Player or two that applies to.
Mm.
I can think of quite a few that it applies to many series that they've done.
Yeah.
I can think of one particular YouTuber. I'm not going to go any further. I think it applies to most YouTubers. That's why I really like same industries. We just play the game and have fun. We also play games that we know, so we don't get into that issue where we don't know what we're doing.
But in the criticism I've had, in the passive aggressive comments that I've had about my thoughts on whatever. It makes me realise that a lot of people who watch my videos don't actually really understand how I'm making it or like the method behind it. Like, I'm rambling. That's how I make my videos. That's how I can pump out a video every week. I'm just hitting record, going off the top of my head. Sometimes I know it all, sometimes I don't know enough.
Listen, they never will as well.
No.
There will be some people who understand, but there'll never be a whole... Like I said, it's like the animation guy. He had no idea how animation works at all. And I don't blame him. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know how video process works either.
Yeah.
We have a mutual friend who I won't name.
Mm-hmm.
They were under the impression for the longest time that video takes as long as it takes as long as it is to edit as the video is long. So if the video is 10 minutes long, it takes 10 minutes to edit.
No.
So that should no. That should give you a vague idea of how, like, people who don't do what we do, how far away they are.
Yeah.
In terms of knowledge of how things work, which is fine. You know, I don't blame anyone.
Here's
I'm just saying that
here's an example.
Something to keep in mind. Yeah.
It took me like 30 minutes to record my "Why Team A Team Will Do Well in 2024" video. So it's a 30-minute long audio recording. I cut it down to 20 minutes, which meant I had to watch the entire 30 minutes, spend 30 minutes at least cutting all the dead air out, and then cutting it down, getting rid of any bits that I repeated, or just weren't relevant, or just I was making a point and it wasn't good enough, and I got rid of that. And then I have to go and find heaps of pictures, and that can take several hours because I don't always have the pictures. I've got a lot of pictures, but I don't have all of the pictures, and so I've got to go through all of the websites that I use to try and find pictures and get high quality pictures to do it. And it ends up taking like 2 or 3 hours rather than 30 minutes.
That barely scratches the surface of it.
Yeah.
To go back to my IRL job. Some of the things that we got to edit are only like a minute and a half long, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. And we actually, the way we edit is very streamlined because we want to get them out as quickly as possible. So it's only a minute and a half. And we use really quick, simple methods to get it all together. Still takes like 2 hours per like 1.5 minutes, roughly. That's a very rough estimation. But again, that's just an idea of, even in the quickest, simplest of way, it can still take hours.
Yeah. And
even that is really variables because there's all kinds of things that you might not consider, getting footage and stuff like that. One thing, with my channels, and I really wonder about this because I think that a lot of people are just under the assumption that all YouTubers have an editor. Someone like with both of us to an extent, you to a slightly lesser extent because you get pictures, I guess, but you didn't take them yourself.
Yeah.
But it's like every piece of game in my videos, every piece of gameplay footage you see, I record.
Yeah.
The scripts, I write them. The animations, I make them. The thumbnails, I draw them. The music, I select it. I don't make it, but I did select it. I didn't make the video game either, but I did play it.
Yeah.
I'm a one-man band here. We're both one-man bands. And so, like, the video making process is a lot longer than I think people think it is.
Yeah.
Especially when you consider, like, also we have lives.
Yeah.
We have jobs. We have things to do. And we can't be editing and working all day, every day.
Yeah. My great achievement, despite some of the comments that I got from my most recent video, I was really happy on Monday because I managed to record the audio for next week's video. On Monday, I was like, yes, I'm so proud that I did that. Because finding the time to do that isn't always easy. So usually it's like a Friday or something, and I'm like, okay, I've got a little bit of time. Sit down here, record, and ramble.
Yeah.
But I had an idea of what I wanted to talk about, and I just nailed it. And I can't remember how long that recording was. Probably a very long one. But I was just happy that I had it done, because once I've done that, then I can edit. It doesn't matter how noisy the house gets.
Yeah, yes, I know. I'm very picky when it comes to doing my audio recording. I like the whole house to be quiet. I don't even like doing it when someone else is in the house. Yeah. I'll do it if I have to, but for the most part, it's like I'd rather be just completely alone. And then, after that, it's fine, because then I can just edit with as much noise as you want.
Yeah.
Well, I prefer not to, actually.
Yeah.
Having the dogs bark over an important thing I'm trying to listen to does kind of delay things by a bit. Happened a few times the other day with the editing I've been doing. But I was going to say, the thing about your channel and the way you structure your videos is you got to look at the wider picture rather than like just the individual comments who don't understand what you're doing. Yeah. Because you look at it and you go, well, you're getting more and more views.
Yeah.
People are liking what you're doing.
That's what I'm telling you. I was like, well, the reason I'm getting so much more attention and why people are so angry is because I've been so successful lately. They're probably seeing my videos popping up all the time.
So you got like the 99% of people who are like, this is great, I love this. Yeah. And then it's like the 1% of people like, I don't understand this. Why is this happening? Yeah. And it's like, well, fuck them. They don't. It's not for them, clearly.
What I've been loving is because like I just genuinely love racing and I love watching racing videos.
Yeah.
Like I was in the comments of some other guy talking about like there's this guy who's from Adelaide who's a racing driver, and I was like, he mentioned that he was from Adelaide. I'm like, hey, I'm from Adelaide too, and then he's like, hey, I love your videos. I'm like, that's crazy. Yeah,
I'm amazing.
that was so crazy.
I'm proud of you.
And then like I was on, there's this other supercars YouTuber called Fan at the Fence, and I was in the comment section talking to some guy about tyres. And then he's like, oh, by the way, looking forward to your videos this year. It was like New Year's had just happened.
Nice.
I was like...
You're going to start getting...
I'm one of the guys.
You might start getting comments eventually where you'll be commenting on a completely unrelated video.
Yeah.
And then you'll have people in the comments being like, hey, what are you doing here? As if you don't have any interests outside of what you normally do.
I'm very conscious of that because I watch like TikTok girls. And sometimes post comments on them because like sometimes they talk about something and I'm like...
They're not weird pervy comments, are they?
No, because I think most of the time it's like life advice or personal experience stuff.
You don't want to get... Actually, no, I'm not going to name any YouTuber. There's a YouTuber right now. There's always a YouTuber right now who's getting cancelled for one reason or another. I mean, by the time this comes out, it'll be a different person, so I'm not going to mention.
Yeah.
What I'll say is that we're recording this on Australia Day 2024.
Yeah.
And you can figure out the time frame yourself. See, speaking of Australia Day, it sounds like someone's probably had too much fun with that ambulance going past or whatever it is.
Yeah. Someone's not having a good Australia Day.
It's actually very possible. I was just thinking those people over there usually like to have big parties on events, so it's possible that we might. Well, we'll see how we go.
Hear some noise.
But that should be later in the afternoon if they end up doing anything. What was I talking about? Getting recognised in comments and stuff.
With this recent success, I've been thinking, should I monetize the channel?
Can you monetize yours?
I think I can. I think I've been able to for like the last 10 years. So.
Well, you have to be reach a certain threshold of like subscribers and views or something. I think you're probably there though.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I've had like notifications where it's been something like it's been telling me not to monetize, but just telling me like, oh, you're being really successful. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, do it. Why not? It's kind of annoying to set up because we live in Australia, so you have to fill out forms that are related to US taxes and stuff. But
okay.
Once you do it, then it's done.
Yeah. And
you get to fill out the fun monetization form every time you upload a video. Yay! Yours should be pretty easy though. I'm pretty sure you can click none of the above for all of them.
Okay.
Unless you swear in your videos, I'm pretty sure you don't though.
Mm-hmm.
Do you swear?
Sometimes, but I think usually I'm just talking about subjects I'm passionate about, and not usually. If I swear, I'll swear once in the entire video.
Oh, that should be fine.
Yeah.
And you don't want to swear within the first 30 seconds. There's all these rules.
Hey guys, what the fuck is up?
It's really annoying because I got to fill out the form for every short that I post. So it's literally like a minute long, guys. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
That's why I beep out most of the swears on all the channels, because that way I don't have to deal with that. Because if you swear like right at the beginning and you go, all right, I swore at the beginning, they're like, all right, now we're going to have to check the video. You have to request a check, and then they check it, and then there's always it's always fine, at least for the content I make. Because it's really, they have to be really vague about things to cover all their bases, so you have to be constantly unsure, like, oh, does this do it? Like, I'm almost 100% sure TF2 is like a totally fine game to monetize. But the fact that there is blood, and there is gore, you know, and I do occasionally swear, I gotta tick those boxes to cover my things.
It's a cartoon game.
But like, it's still there, and so I gotta make sure, and every single time they're like, yeah, it's totally fine, but I still gotta, it's why I also don't, I have to schedule my videos ahead of time so I get the time to have them. Anyway, whatever. Monetization. It's not very fun, but you'll get a couple of cents out of it, so that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking, man. You know.
So when you turn on your monetization, don't be too surprised by how much you're going to be paid.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, is it going to be worth it at all? Like, I'm not getting a lot of views. I'm not getting like 100,000 views.
I say once it's on, you know, and then it just becomes like a passive income.
Yeah,
you will. I mean, just as a general thing with all things in life, you'll need to announce it when you do your taxes, but usually you'll just get an eyebrow raise from the tax agent,
Mm.
and they'll be like, I don't understand what this is. And then you go, here's my income. And then they just look at the sheet and they go, that's not a lot. And I go, I know. It's YouTube. It's a hobby.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't mean to scare you off of it.
No. Yeah, like I hit 200 subs this year.
Yeah.
I hit 100 after Resurrect a Race Team came out in 2019. I think it was that one.
I wonder
Yeah.
if you need 1,000 subs to turn on monetization.
I don't know. There's only 2 Supercars YouTubers that have got 1,000 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think so. I've got 200. The next one up from me has got. Hang on, no. He's almost got 1,000 as well. Pickles. He's my mate. He's good.
You should collab with him, dude.
Yeah.
Get your name out there.
Yeah, I want to, but I want to do it after I move in my house because otherwise it's just annoying. And at my own house, I'll be like, everybody shut up.
Sure. Okay.
No.
Don't get
when
dogs.
I'm living under someone else's roof, it's like, no, I have to buckle under and
I get you.
yeah. Okay. But it's just like with anything that's like going well with success comes all of the attention from more people, and that increases the chances of being someone that you're not necessarily going to agree with.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You're going to, like...
And if you want to continue with it, you kind of have to accept it.
I worry about the really big YouTubers because there's always going to be a crazy person.
Something I've been doing lately is unsubscribing from people that do content that doesn't enhance my life anymore. Like maybe it used to, and I used to be like, oh, I love watching this. But then, like, especially like dating related stuff, I used to be subscribed to so many dating YouTubers, just talk about dating advice and stuff. And it got to a point where I was like, it's all that's happening here is I'm just thinking about dating, and I'd really rather not. So I'm just gonna unsubscribe from that.
Alright, so that's what...
Because they're telling me what I should be doing and who I should be.
Sure.
And I go, you know what?
Who you should be is, when it comes to dating, is yourself.
That's half of what they are trying to do, is telling you that you should go to gym and eat healthy and do all this. It's like, just be yourself. Why are you trying to tell me what to do?
I mean, that's just... I mean, we won't get into the topic right now, but that's just like changing yourself to fit someone else's needs, which I think is not really... In my opinion, if you want to find someone who's, the right fit for you, you don't want to... You don't want them to fall into the facade. You want them to fall for the person that you actually are.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was going to say that having only being subscribed to people who benefit your life is kind of a high bar, I will say. It's fine to subscribe to people for entertainment purposes.
Okay, yeah. As in, not benefit my life, but like... I was watching those videos, and actually there's another channel that I am thinking about and subscribing from that I've really enjoyed watching. But a lot of their videos are negative videos. They're talking about all the things that are going wrong in the world, and I'm like, you know what? My world's going fine.
Yeah.
My world's going fine. I don't need you telling me how bad everything is, because I don't see it.
That's kind of a philosophy thing.
Yeah.
And I'm in a similar position. Well, not that I'm ignoring what's happening in the world, but more of just like I don't need to know this. I got my own life to live, and I don't want to bog myself down with the weight of the world, as it were. Yeah. But that's getting a bit huge and heavy. I
think a lot of it is if it's like people who are almost exclusively living on the internet, and they just sort of everything they know about the world comes from what they've seen online.
Not just that, but through doom scrolling, where everyone frames and phrases everything in the most horrible, nihilistic ways possible, and then your mindset gets to that point as well. That's why I don't use Twitter. That's why I no longer use Reddit. I used Reddit for 6 months last year. I got too into it. It became my main source of just entertainment during slow moments, and it mainly because of all the negativity and annoying shit. I was just like, I can't be bothered with this.
Yeah. Another topic which should be interesting to talk about is retirement.
Oh,
Yeah.
the great YouTuber.
The phenomenon or the trend.
Yeah, well, I was trying to think of Exodus, the great YouTuber Exodus.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get another drink before we do that.
Yeah, I'll get another Coke.
Alright, cool. We'll do that.
So you did your community post talking
I
about
did.
retirement, and
I'm retiring, by the way.
Yeah,
guys. That's
was
just
what he
to
said.
sum it up. No, I'm not.
So yeah, I'm like you, like especially it was like, a lot of these people who are retiring, I think sometimes they're doing it for the right reasons, and some of them are doing it because they don't know what they're doing.
Before we get into it, we should explain what's going on.
Okay, yeah. So
Because again, we don't know when this video is coming out.
who was the first one?
The first one I heard of was Tom Scott.
Yeah, so I heard, but he talked about it like last year, didn't he?
I don't know.
He gave this impression that he was going to start winding stuff back.
I didn't ever really watch him.
Yeah, I've heard that he's like huge, and I've seen
He is.
a couple of his videos,
Yeah.
and
same.
I'm like, wow, he does like a great job, but he's just not for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I've watched a couple of his videos. But
Yeah, and then
he only just kind of recently, like in the last couple of years, have I seen him. So to see him retiring, it's like, oh, it's like I only just got to know you.
and then the other big one was MatPat.
Yes.
And
Who Matt Pat cites Tom Scott as one of the things that possibly the thing that pushed him over the edge to retire.
yeah, but the thing is like Matt Pat has been working really hard, or he says he's been working really hard for like the last 10 years.
I believe
And
it.
so it makes sense, and he's got like a young family, and he wants to sort of wind things back so he can have a healthy life.
Yeah.
And you know, while he's probably got like a steady income from running Game Theory and all its related channels.
Yeah.
Um,
I think he's set. I think he's alright.
well, I think he personally is set. I'm not completely convinced that the Theorist Network or whatever it is.
You think you can't?
set.
You can't.
But I haven't watched any of the freaking game theories or film theories or anything for like 2 years.
Really? Not a one.
Nah. Because I see them pop up and I'm like, I don't care.
I watch him from time to time, but admittedly, a lot of it's because I think Matt Pat's a funny guy. Again, I think I've said this on Same and stuff. I don't think he's funny in the way that he thinks he's funny, which is a really mean thing to say. But I like him. I like him in the same way that Only Plays crew likes Doug Walker, the nostalgia critic.
Okay, yeah.
I think he's fun,
Yeah.
just in a funny kind of way. But yeah, it is sad, but I get it. I do get it for him.
Yeah.
Because he's been doing this for years, and he said he's like, I've been doing this for like 10
It's been
10
growing
years.
as well. Like what he's been doing has been like it's got like
Yeah.
10 million subscribers.
The workload I can only imagine with four or five channels, because they got the live one as well.
Yeah.
And he's always doing, and he's always
yeah.
the host. He's always doing things, even though I'm pretty convinced he doesn't do his own research most of the time. Because I mean,
Well, he
I
talked
don't-
about it. He's been winding it back for the last like
Yeah.
5 years. There's somebody else who's like managing
But-
everything.
By the way, the only reason I'm accusing him of that is just because of the sheer amount of work I know he does. I'm like, how can he fit all this research in?
Well, isn't there like a new video every week or something across 5 channels, and they're all like really well made?
Yeah.
So like, there's no way one man can do that.
Well, no, I mean,
in
obviously he has editors and stuff, but
Yeah.
I do think about the writing and the research primarily. Because
Yeah.
there's so many different topics. That's like,
Research takes a long
how
time
can you
to do as well.
how can you keep it all in his mind and the scripts and stuff? So I kind of don't blame him.
Yeah.
Though I do wonder. Well, I don't know. Maybe we should get into that in the next thing. So those two big ones then kind of started a wave of a lot more smaller YouTubers.
Yeah.
Smaller comparatively. I saw there's some big small ones, like 1 million subscribers or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. That have all decided, yep, YouTube's not for me, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And it's been interesting. Because I've always felt, and I think you would feel the same, because
Yep.
we talk about it a lot, that the reason that we do YouTube and the reason that a lot of other YouTubers do YouTube are for two very different reasons.
I think with us and probably with a lot of YouTubers, we are just genuinely creative people.
Yeah.
Ever since I could put a pen to paper, I wanted to show people, and that's just who I am. It's what I do.
Exactly. And I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
I was thinking I might actually bring up my thing and read what I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I know this is primarily an audio show.
Yeah,
You can put it on the screen if you want while I'm reading it. So basically, like, there's so many people, YouTubers retiring and stuff like that, and it's actually become like a bit of a fear within YouTube. It's like, oh, who's going to be next?
Yeah.
I already have my fears of a few YouTubers I really, really like.
Yeah.
because it's the people are losing the spark. They're losing the passion. That's what I'm trying to get at.
I don't think Jack's Films is one of those.
I don't think he is. My fear was Tom Scar.
Okay.
Because Tom Scar's kind of always the last year or two he's been talking about.
What
wondering
about
when he's gonna stop.
Northern Lion?
I mean, Northern Lion, he's been quiet quitting for years.
Yeah.
By his own words, which is to say he's putting less and less effort in.
He still posts like a lot of videos.
Oh yeah, no, but like all of his videos are VODs. Every single one, pretty well.
Well, he records on Twitch and just puts the clips on YouTube.
He likes streaming.
Yeah.
He loves streaming, and I don't think he's going to stop that anytime soon, especially because he's got a daughter that he has to support and everything.
I've seen a lot of that on like the gaming side of YouTube. A lot of them have been doing streaming and putting the VODs on YouTube.
That's a whole topic I also want to get into,
Okay,
actually. I was just going to say the path of the Let's Player. Not the same as what I said before, but like the divide of where gaming YouTubers went. You either went harder into quantity over quality, where you became like a Twitch streamer or something like that, and you just pump out videos all the time, or you went into like
Video essays,
exactly.
Yeah.
So more quality over quantity.
Yeah.
So that's the direction that I went in, and whereas like Northern Lion went in the direction of streaming and just more and more content as opposed to making it better. And by the way, this is not an insult against Northern Lion. He's my favorite streamer by far because he's the only one I watch.
Yeah.
And a lot of this is his own words. Like he just doesn't. It's just a job for him. It's a 9 to 5, and he enjoys doing it, which is fine. Sorry, but we're going off topic. I wanted to talk about.
So read your post.
Yeah. What I was saying is that there's a bit of a fear now that all these YouTubers are disappearing and stuff like that and leaving because people aren't. I think it's a mixture of a lot of things. People aren't feeling the passion anymore.
I think that's people also realizing that it's an option or feeling like it's trendy. I'm not sure about some of them. I'm like, oh, you're quitting? Yeah, sure.
I think, well, there's a lot of things to think about, and I'm not going to name any names or call out anyone, but I think there's a level of like, you're burnt out now. Yeah. How will you feel in a year? You know, and they're like, because it's like I've actually seen lots of YouTubers in the past quit or stop playing the game they're known for because they hate it. They hate it now. It's probably it's like, but then they come back a year or two later because it just turns out they were just burnt out at the time and they made this really rash decision where they're like, oh, I'm abandoning my channel and everything for it.
Chimney Swift is a great example of it. He like milked the crap out of Minecraft for 5-6 years. And, you know, became very successful from it. But after those 6 years, it got to a point where he was like, you know, I'm not into Minecraft anymore.
I don't blame him. If you're playing one game for 6 years.
And yeah, so he went away from it and had a few years off. And he's much more of a streamer now. He's apparently a partner streamer of the game Sea of Thieves.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so I'm like, good for you. You found something you're really enjoying and you got a good thing going with it. I've seen a few, I only watched the channel updates and his little update videos that he's done.
Did he get back to Minecraft? Because I thought that's where you were going with it.
He does, and he jumps in occasionally. He runs servers. He has like people host his servers and he might jump in occasionally. But he just sort of runs them because people know him from Minecraft.
I thought where you're going with that is like, for instance, TF2, because I know a lot about TF2 YouTubers. There's so many of them that are like, I hate TF2, I'm done with it, I'm never returning to it. And then 2 years later, like, hey guys, I'm back. Yeah. I'm back to TF2. Because they were burnt out at the time, and then,
He did come back to Minecraft for not long, a few months. And it was back... Not like it had been before, where it was multiple uploads a day, but it was different back then. Now it's, you know, he's done it before, so when he comes back, it's much more I'm going to do this thing.
Gotcha.
Much more, you know, calculated. He's like, I'm going to do this, but maybe the calculator's a bit exaggerating the amount of thought that was put into it. But just he wants to do it, and it was it's back to the way it was. On appearance, but not necessarily in reality.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the things. I feel like there's probably a lot of YouTubers who are quote unquote quitting right now because they're over it, they're burnt out. I do wonder. I'm not accusing anyone. I'm just saying I wonder if there's going to be some of them that return.
I can see myself taking, because I've been posting a Supercars video every week for the last 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And I've done very well from doing that. But I know that one day is going to come where I've got an idea for this week. And so I'll go, you know what, I don't have an idea, and that's okay.
Yes, and that's the right mindset to have.
Yeah. Because, like, no one else is doing what I'm doing. Like, in the supercars community, I'm the only one who makes videos like I make them, and that's probably partly why I get the attention I get.
Yeah,
it's because there's a need for that.
You're finding a niche, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I say, there are people who I think are just quitting because they're burnt out, and they're making a bit of a rash decision.
Yeah.
And then there's also people, I think, and you see this all the time on YouTube, there's people who got into YouTube trying to make it big. That was their goal. And we've talked about that, I think, in the past, at least on the same, because we're not like this at all. And I kind of say it in my post, which I will get to in a minute, which is that YouTube isn't a means to an end. It's not I don't see it as like I want to make $1 million off of YouTube. It's not. I'm not interested in the money. I'm interested in the creative aspect. But I think there's always I see YouTubers pop in and out all the time who are like, I'm going to be the next Mr. Beast or something, and it's like, and then they're gone within a couple of months because they weren't making the numbers they thought they would make, And I think there's a lot of people who are like that right now, who are like, I thought this would be my career, and it turns out that it's harder than it seems, But anyway, so there's been a big fear, like all these YouTubers are going to disappear, and I've had this kind of thought in my head for a few months of wanting to let my audience know what I'm like, what I'm all about.
Yeah. And
this just happened to be the perfect opportunity for it. So I'm going to read this out loud. I might need to change the microphone to face me. And the reason I'm reading it is because you seem to have very similar, if not identical, sentiments.
Yeah.
To me. No. All right. So, this is what I said. With all this talk of YouTubers retiring, I want to say that I never will, because I live to create and YouTube is a perfect medium to express myself. I might take forever to make anything, I am just a one-man band, but creating is my purpose in life. I don't do it for money or ultimate fame, or as a means to an end. I create because I love it, always have and always will. If I have 1 billion followers and all the money in the world, I'd still be creating. If I had nothing and living in a ditch, I'd still be scratching doodles in the pavement. Creating is what I do, and even if I'm slow as hell at getting anything out, please know I am always working on something, whether it be a scripted video, a gameplay video, a video of my friends, a drawing, a comic, an animation, etc. I'm always making something because that's just what I do. So like it or not, I'll be here. I'll always be here, always making stuff. You're stuck with me forever, and they're the little demon face. I just really always wanted to kind of let my audience know that, like, I identify in my real life as a creative, as a creator. I live to create. I see it as my purpose in life, which is a bit dramatic, but I legitimately feel this way. When people ask me about like my relationship and stuff like that, I say, I don't say it, but like some people have said, he's already married. He's married to his work. And that's kind of true, because that's my biggest passion in life, is just to create. I love to work. I love to make things. I've told you there's so many things I could say, I suppose, but there's a great example of, like, I love going up into the hills and being completely isolated and working, of which some people consider to be a complete nightmare. But for me, I just love it. I love creating. I love making. I live to create. If I made nothing out of it, I would still be creating. If I was the richest person in the world, I'd still be creating. You can't stop me. And I won't ever retire from YouTube, because it's just not. It's a place to produce, to put things up. That's what it is at the end of the day. As long as I can still do that, I'll still use it. I make shit all the time that gets no views. Doesn't bother me. I'm still making shit. I make it because I enjoy it. I make it because I like it. I make it not for you, but for me. Yeah. One of my favorite lines from the Rocky Horror Picture Show is Dr. Frankenfurter makes a man. Yeah. He makes a hot man for him to love. Yeah. And I think it was Janet. She's like kind of criticizing it a little bit. It's like, I'm not really into like super buff men or something. And he goes, I didn't make him for you. And I kind of think about that whenever I make a video and someone complains. I'm like, well, I didn't make it for you. I made it for me. Yeah. My number one audience is me. Yeah. Not to go on a rant here, but that's kind of the consensus of what I'm trying to say. I just like to create all the time, for always, and I'll never stop YouTube, because I just want, even if I get into some big scandal and I lose all my followers, then I'll still be here. I'll still be making shit. No one will watch it and everyone will hate me. I'll still make it.
Yeah.
Can't stop me.
But like we know from personal experience, like how all this attention affects you, where it's like, oh, there's actually pressure now. I've got to do something.
Yeah, it does get into your head, and you try to ignore it, but it is definitely there.
Yeah. The best thing you can do is just stick to your own morals and
yes,
and back yourself and be like, I'm doing the right thing.
Which is what I've been trying to tell you with your videos.
Yeah.
When you get people criticizing you, I'm like, just keep doing it, man. Like, it's working.
Well, that's what I've been. Like,
and it's the point of your videos is the.
I talk to plenty of people about it, and like, I think the more you talk to people about it, the more you get over it. As in, like, I talk to people about a particular comment, and I'm like complaining about it and saying how, you know, they're out of line and stuff like that.
That's just talking about problems with people. It always helps a little bit.
Yeah.
To do it.
But there's a YouTube girl that I follow called Sahar, and she's having a tough time at the moment, and she keeps on saying, I'm gonna come back on this day. And she did that. She said that before, and now she's like, "No, I need more time." And it's like, the easiest way to do this is to don't promise anything.
Oh yeah.
Don't say I'm going to come back. Just say I need some time and take some time off.
The cardinal rule of being a content creator is never give a date unless you are 100%.
Unless it's already done.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So 100% certain, and even then, something can happen.
Yeah, like Foo Fighters made their album Medicine at Midnight in 2020, but because of COVID they didn't put the album out for a year.
Fair enough.
Because we want to do concerts, and if we can't do concerts, well, what's the point of putting the album out? So they put the album out, and they're like, we're coming back in the middle of the year with some shows.
Fair enough.
And it was just, I'm like, that's clever. Like, that's what I love about those guys. They're smart.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the big cardinal sin of content creation is never promise. Unless you're 1,000,000% sure that something's going to come out, like it's already done.
Yeah.
Don't promise it when something's coming out. Just don't do it. You're setting yourself up for failure. No matter how confident you are.
I got people, like people now have like ideas about what my videos are like. There was someone that, in the comments that I was talking to, and they were like, "Oh, your videos are like this," and I'm like, and I didn't reply to it. I didn't reply directly to what they said. I replied to something else that we were talking about, and I thought, like, they were saying something like, "Oh, you're all about telling people about the drivers and stuff," and I'm like, "No, I'm all about talking about supercars, like everything about supercars." So, and that's why I realised it was actually a smart decision, because I did my Every Driver series where I talked about every driver.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of attention for it, and the videos were well made and stuff. And now I'm doing videos not talking about specifically the drivers. I'm just sort of talking about everything. And I realised, and I had made the decision at the end of last year to not do that again for at least a few years, because I don't want to be stuck in a way where like, this is what I'm doing and I have to stick to it. Well, I'm just going to make the video that I want to make.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's the key at the end of it. Don't do things because you're trying to read the audience and worried about getting stuck in something.
Yeah.
That's getting stuck is a YouTuber flaw that a lot of people fall into.
Do you feel like you did that with TF2 histories and things like that?
To some degree, but I just try to ignore it.
Because you still want to do them.
I do still want to do it. But here's the thing, if I exclusively did them, I wouldn't want to do it.
And you're doing your Fortnite stuff, and you seem to love doing it.
Yeah, but
you're doing some more Tier 2 stuff.
I talk to some smaller YouTubers, and they like Tier 2 YouTubers who get started, because sometimes they come to me for advice.
Yeah.
And they're always like, I'm so worried. I think I'm gonna be known for TF2. I can't do anything else. I'm like, why do you think that? It's like, my last video got 100 views, and that's my most popular one. I'm like, just do what you want, man.
Yeah,
it's fine. That's like, because that's what I mean by it's
I tell so many people that just do what you want.
Our thing about YouTube is that we just create. We will create what we want, right? And we don't cater to our audience in that regard.
Like, I made video game stuff for like 8 years.
It's hard for people to change, and they're worried about it because they get too in their heads of what they think their audience wants, and then they stop thinking for themselves. They think about what the audience wants to see, and that's where you get those really shallow YouTubers that have lost all their personality and interesting stuff because they found a niche and they stuck to it, and then they got stuck in it because they knew that's where the views were, and then they get sad and upset because they're doing something they don't actually want to do, but they're doing it because they think that they have to. But I just don't. You just gotta not. Easier said than done.
Go against the grain, be
and
yourself.
And it gets a lot harder once you're actually making a career out of it. Like, that is your job. And I'm not going to go ahead and pretend to tell you what that's like. But, I mean, there's plenty of examples of big YouTubers as well who were known for a thing and then left. You got to take the risk if you want to, enjoy your life. Great example, of course, being Donkey. I feel like that most people don't even know these days that Donkey used to be a League of Legends YouTuber.
Yeah.
That's where he got his main name from. And then one day he said, I'm done with League of Legends. I don't want to play it anymore. And now he's even more popular than ever because he took the risk, Yeah. There's a lot of TF2 YouTubers actually like that as well. Germa probably is the biggest one, who I don't even think he plays TF2 at all anymore, but I think that's where he started.
Yeah.
I also don't watch Germa still. I'm still on my war against Germa.
Yeah.
And I'm still losing the war. Should I explain that? Should I go into give the context behind that, or just let it?
Yeah, probably should.
All right. I should have explained it because people love Germa. I have nothing against Germa the man.
Yeah.
Germa the man. I've got literally. I would, I'd shake his hand. I'd be like, "Nice to meet you," and all that shit. I wouldn't know if he's good or not because I don't watch his content. You might think, why don't you watch his content? He's great. Well, it's because my war on Germa is actually a war on YouTube.
Yeah.
So when Germa started getting really, really popular, YouTube started flooding, and I mean flooding, my recommendations with Germa videos. Germa clips, Germa videos, Germa animations, Germa fucking fan cams, everything relating to Germa. And it filled my recommendations to the brim. I hadn't watched a single Germa video, and yet it was just Germa. And I know how YouTube works. You click one Family Guy clip, and suddenly that's all you see in your recommendations for the rest of your life. So I'm like, well, I like to look at my recommendations all the time because I'm on YouTube all the time. I don't want to just see one thing. So I've been deliberately avoiding clicking on Germa videos so YouTube doesn't... so my recommendations don't become the Germa button, And so I decided then and there, like, okay, I'm not gonna watch Germa. I'm gonna wait for this to kind of die down. I'm gonna wait until he stops appearing in my recommendations.
Have you pressed the button to say not interested and all that?
Oh yeah. So I started doing that after a few months.
Yeah.
Not interested in this video. Block this channel. All that kind of stuff. I'm sorry if I blocked you, but random people that are listening. I swear it's nothing personal. I'm trying to win this war, and it's been about 2 years, and I'm still losing. I can still pretty well, relatively consistently, click on my recommendations, and Germa will still pop up there.
Yeah.
And that's my whole war on Germa. Nothing against him at all. I'm just trying to fight back against YouTube because I feel like if it is already recommending me Germa constantly, I don't want to think about what it does if I actually click on one of those videos.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It'll just rename your channel to Germa.
I bet.
And just
It'll
just be Germa's website or Germa's YouTube channel. It's the only one you can watch videos
I don't even know if he uploads YouTube videos anymore. There's also right there. See, I didn't have to scroll down very far at all. Why doesn't Germa's face move when he laughs? See, I don't know. Again, never clicked on Germa, but there he is.
Yeah.
I had to scroll down like a tiny bit. This is what I mean, dude.
Yeah.
It's got 1.2 million views. Not interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, sorry, that's my war on Germa. Again, not actually a war on Germa, just a war on YouTube.
Do you get recommended your own videos?
From my other channels?
No, from your own channel.
No.
I get recommended Supercars videos that I made and published with the account that I'm getting recommended.
Is it because Supercars doesn't have a ton of people making the content? So
I
they're
think
like,
so. I think
they're
it's like, hey,
well,
this is the kind of content you'd love. I know, I make it.
But you're like one of the big content creators for it, so maybe that's what it is.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
It's just funny. I'm like, does YouTube know that I'm being recommended my own content?
Yeah, that's really funny. I
mean, it's a funny way of knowing like what the view count is and stuff like that. But it's just like, I'm just like not watching that, and I'm watching something else, and then it's like, hey, look, there's my video.
Yeah, it never happened to me.
Like, I get it if it's like on a different account, like if it's on Same Industries or Mabini Talks or Big Mabini Games or something.
Maybe if I mean, I haven't posted a video in a while on my main channel, so I'm probably like out of the recommendation loop.
Yeah.
But I wonder if like if I look up like Uncle Dane, because sometimes I know I can appear in his thing. Because I don't this actually kind of touching on a topic that I said earlier. I'm not part of the TF2 community really, and I don't really watch a lot of TF2 videos.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably a part of it.
Yeah. I don't watch every Supercars YouTuber's video.
No.
Especially if it's like a round review, I'm not really that interested, unless it's Fan at the Fence, because he does this thing where he does like, oh, this is what your predictions were, and I just watch it to see if I get in. Because I make a prediction. I made actually a pretty bad prediction. Not a bad prediction, like I was right, but it was kind of sad that I was right. Because I was like, I bet Garth Tander and David Reynolds crash out at Sandown. And they did. And I was like, oh no. It was like a last minute thing as well. I'm like, I had my normal one, and then I'm like, and then I just had this feeling like, there's so much hype behind it. I bet this happens.
Is it a thing where like he will like read your comments and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh,
so like he'll show you a comment. In like I think a while ago, I think before he changed the channel name, it used to be called Behind the Barrier, but now it's Fan at the Fence to be more close to and more accurate, because I guess Behind the Barrier could be anything.
Fair enough. Yeah. I think it's a good name.
Yeah. He's visually, his videos are so good to look at. And like it's like yellow and black, and he does it like a PowerPoint presentation, and it's just a nice thing to look at, and everyone watches it, likes it. And recently he started putting his face on, and I'm like, oh, that's what he looks like. I've been wondering that for ages. Because I'm hearing his voice, and I'm like, he's got a great voice. I wonder what he looks like.
I'm still trying my eternal crusade to get on some Jax Films videos. I was looking at it there. He's got he's doing this thing. He's doing the 10 seconds challenge.
I don't watch a lot of Jax Films videos.
Oh, I watch.
I watched.
I watch everything he makes.
I watched him sit down with Smosh.
I've got that on my watch later. I'm gonna watch it when I'm doing some drawing on the weekend.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I re-edited my Zelda fairy animation down to 10 seconds, hoping that it will get into his video. I don't think it came in this week.
I was wondering if you because the game Matt and Game Theory were doing a special send off video, where it's like, oh, you got to send in your that's just a theory things, and I was like, you did that in your Pyro Agenda video.
Is that what is that a thing?
Yeah, there's like you send in a video, and I don't know if they talked about it in the GT Live or if they talked about it in the Goodbye Internet video. But
yeah, maybe I should look into that. I am a little worried though, because I kind of am
because you kind of did that as like a joke.
Yeah, it's kind of me making fun of him more as opposed to like a legitimate thing. We'll see. Do I actually say that's just for a game for anything? I'm sure I do, but it's probably like a parrot. No. Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
I want you to know that I don't look at my channel very often.
No, neither do I.
It's just for video like this.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's the Game Theories one. I thought it'd be up near the top.
Oh,
there it is.
Yeah, it's in there.
Hello, interweb. Welcome to Game Theory.
Game
Theory.
Theory.
You guys for real this time. It's a comic I made.
No.
This week before that, yeah.
I will see you next time. Bye. We got a week from now. Now, I'm not saying I'm right or not. But it will always
Do you remember where it is?
This video sucks, dude. What the hell?
What?
This is bad.
fun to theorize, but it isn't fact. And the people who make these theories are just people too. Slipping the video into a PSA of theories. How many other YouTubers gonna do that? Only me, folks, because I am the greatest YouTuber in the world.
At least got that right.
In fact, I heard a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend say that they heard the fact that we're coming out a week from now. Now, I'm not saying I'm right enough, but they just not calendars. You're welcome. Anyway, I do know that
You can fast forward down the keyboard?
Bye.
Where is it?
Well, hey guys, thanks for watching this video. Sorry.
No, I don't say it. I
Maybe-
literally don't say that's just a theory in this video. That's so stupid.
It must be early on.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. When was it Spike? Oh no, do I say something controversial?
No. It's like, and that's just a game theory. A game theory.
The date 9/6 written over the top of it.
It's like at the start, where it's like the idea is that like it's a joke because we don't really know what the pirate's gender is.
Oh!
There.
Oh!
Spell it out for you. It's just, stay with me here, a theory. This is the theory. A game theory. Yada yada yada. You see, ultimately,
Yeah, maybe I'll submit that if that's
Up to you.
the case. I don't know. I do think I kind of like.
It was just a thought I had because I was like, oh, you've done that, so yeah.
I need to watch the video and see if I actually kind of go hard into it. I know I don't go crazy hard, but I definitely like. I mean, this video actually has one of my least rotating right back to the beginning of this. One of my least favorite comments I've ever received. Maybe I shouldn't specify because I don't want to get the guy, any hate or anything like that. But I accidentally, somehow someone interpreted this video of believing that I'm anti-science.
Yeah, and they had this huge.
And I've gone
fan.
on. I've gone on about it
Yeah.
before.
We talked about it in Borderlands 3. Yeah. But, you get that. My Declan Fraser video is notorious for, I don't hate Declan Fraser. I have nothing against him. I just gave my honest thoughts on how his season went, and I said I thought he could have done better, and a lot of people did not like that. But also there was a fair number of people, like most people just liked the video and moved on. Some people were like, hey, I think you're being a bit mean, and they told me that, and some people were passive aggressive. And I was like, okay.
Well, here's my thing about your supercars videos, right? It's like, isn't the main thing that you can talk about when it comes to supercars it's just like opinion?
Yeah.
So,
Like, I clearly am not an owner of a team or a racing driver myself,
like,
and people are like mad at me with my opinion sometimes.
but that's the thing. Is like, what are you gonna do? Just be endlessly nice to every single person? That's not interesting.
It probably seemed like that because,
You're just giving your true opinions on things.
yeah,
That's what your channel is an opinion channel, isn't
it
it?
is. Yeah.
And people don't like that. That's their problem.
Also, some of like team bosses and stuff, but I'm not a team boss. Like, I get that, and there are people who maybe know more than I do, and that's fine. Like, if they know more than me, I'm okay with that. And I could be wrong with my opinion, and I'm okay. Oh, I went overboard, or I just clearly didn't know about this thing, and that's okay. But
Yeah.
some people are like heart and soul about something that they've been told,
Ah, yeah.
and that's what annoys me. Is that I'm like, you genuinely believe this because we are supposed to believe this. Like, we all want to believe every car's the same, but we know they're not. They're made by different people.
Fight the power, man. Make a whole video about this.
Yeah.
Shatter people's brain. I think, honestly, I think it's kind of good on YouTube to have your own opinion, especially if it's like a controversial one. Not deliberately. Don't be like, I'm going to be deliberately contrarian.
Look,
but I think
it's not even most of my videos. Like, most of my videos, I'm just like talking about how excited I am about something or
Yeah.
how interested I am.
what I'm saying is like, I'm moving into my controversial area. I know I've talked about it on the same stuff like that. I've got a few videos coming out while I'm working on that. I just don't give a shit anymore. I used to be kind of like careful about things like, oh, this is good. This is whatever. Now I'm just like, this thing fucking sucks. I hate this.
Yeah.
I talk about a weapon in an upcoming video, and I hated using it so bad. I mean,
The
that
fucking flare gun.
No, it's not the flare gun. It's I might as well say it's a Tribal Shiv. I think
Okay.
it's terrible. I think it's an awful weapon. And I had a really bad time using it. It was so bad, I added in an extra section where the video kind of stops just for me to bitch about it. And I know people are going to be like, what the fuck? And I don't give a shit. That's that's what I want. I want people to complain that I'm complaining. Fuck them. It's in my opinion. It's my video. Fuck you. I'm moving into that era.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Because who cares? It's a fucking video game. And the same with your thing. It's like, who cares? You're just a random guy.
Yeah.
You're just a guy. It's like,
Yeah.
it's not like you're fucking Mr. Can you name like a really important sports car man? The VA man?
Shane Van Gisbergen.
It's not like you're him.
No.
You know, your opinions.
When he says shit, people listen to him and they believe him and they tell everybody else they're wrong.
It's like your opinions don't matter unless you're like actually working in V8 supercars and actually making changes. Who gives a shit what you think?
Yeah.
You can think that that the race sucks if it doesn't have a crash. That's the thing. You gotta have your opinions, and that's the thing. I'm moving into this era of YouTube where I'm just gonna be opinionated. I'm just gonna tell my true thoughts, and you know, if people disagree and they argue and they comment like that they disagree with you, you know what that is? It's engagement.
Yeah.
It makes your video go around.
Well, yeah, that's what you said when I sent you one of the comments from the Declan Fraser video. And you were like, hey, the engagement's going up. I'm thinking, you're not wrong. Like, maybe that's why the channel's doing so well at the moment. It's just every time I put a video out, I get comments, I get likes, the views go up.
I'm just saying, I will say that, you know, don't pretend.
No.
Don't make up controversies and shit.
Yeah.
But just tell your true opinions.
Yeah.
Because I think, you know, that's where the value is.
And it's also, like, we're in an era in, I guess, like, Western discourse and when, like, people always, like, it's popular to be negative about stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, there's so much, this sucks, this niche thing is the best thing ever.
Well, that's the classic thing of, you know, bad news is always more interesting than good news.
Yeah.
And that's always going to be a thing. People are just more attracted to it. But I wouldn't necessarily say we're in the era of negativity necessarily. I think we've actually kind of come past it. Because I think about like the big wave of all the game reviewers that were copying AVGN and just being mad and angry at things all the time. My favorite game reviewer right now is NitroRad because he's just real about it. If he dislikes a game, he'll say he dislikes it. But if he likes a game, he'll say he likes it. He'll go about all the things he likes. Yeah. I think what it is you just want to be yourself. Just give your true opinions. And people will disagree or agree, and then they'll have the discussion to say, you know. Even if they agree with everything you say, they'll be like, oh, I agree with everything you say. Wow, I can't believe it, you know. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's just, I think that, yeah, the key to, you know, the kind of attention you're getting is just being honest. Yeah. And, you know, not pretending to have an opinion on something, but just saying what it is, whether it be positive or negative, one or the other. And, yeah.